live. Like I was saying, I just took my mom to go see the new Jurassic Park, and like my heart is still racing. I've been out for like 20 minutes. Oh, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, man,
Definitely.
definitely. Sorry, I wanted to jump on earlier. We'll have girl moment later.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Days happen, you know.
Telling you. How is everybody as you're joining us? We'll do our normal and play a cool song here in just a second.
Yep.
Welcome to Unveiling Shadows Live, the survivor and the skeptic. I hear that differently in my head than I say it.
Yep. The survivor and the skeptic.
The survivor and the skeptic, who is starting to not be so damn skeptical.
Yeah.
I know we
It
we got
takes
some of
about
you
a
out there.
year. It takes about a year to wrap your mind around this bullshit. No,
Oh,
like literally sent in my SF-95 form and to my torts claim for the torture, and they sent me a denial letter, but I'm going to do a rebuttal against this.
okay, hold on. Let's talk into that. Yo, happy Tuesday. Hi, Joy. Oh, hi, Mark. Introducing myself, victim of voice to skull 1985. I was 5 years old, and I've been. Sorry, Mark. Can't we do a podcast that's more happy? Kidding. I know this is
No.
important. She's like,
Hey,
no.
Tiffany, because knowledge is power, so we can't.
Knowledge is
No.
power.
And I got my FOIA request back. They also denied that one with some bunch of bullshit. So if
Okay.
anyone,
What is
um,
remind us what this form is that you sent, who you sent it to, because I know there's probably new people joining in. Hi, Kemp. Hi, Igor.
hi, Igor. Hi, Kemp. So I sent my FOIA request, which is a Freedom of Information Act request, to obviously the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the FOIA request. And they said, after considering the nature of your request, INA has determined that the fact of the existence or non-existence of records pertaining to your request would be exempt from disclosure pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, exemptions 3 and 7E. Your request is denied under exemption 3 pursuant to Title 50 U.S. Code 3024I and 6 U.S. Code 121D9, which protect intelligence sources and methods from unauthorized disclosure. Additionally, we are neither confirming nor denying the existence of records under Exemption 7E. As disclosure of the information you requested would reveal law enforcement techniques or procedures and the circumstances under which those procedures or techniques were used. So they're basically saying they did it. And they said, if you deem this to be an adverse determination, you may exercise your appeal rights. Well, I sure as fuck am. These
So they
criminals
denied
are
your
ridiculous.
freedom of information request because they can't confirm or deny that exists.
Yeah, and that it would
That
give up
sounds very
gaslighty. Yeah.
Hi, Emily is here.
Hi, Emily.
Yes. Hi, Laurie.
Tiffany. Hi, Joe.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so what a bunch of bullshit. So I do plan on appealing. I sent an appeal to the Tort Claims Division today via certified mail because I do everything certified mail. But
Yeah.
the FOIA, I expected it to come back, but apparently my case and other TI's cases are, well, you know, I don't know. They're, I don't
We
know.
can
How do I say
can
that?
you read that? Can you read that one more time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This correspondent constitutes the Department of Homeland Security Office of Intelligence and Analysis. Final determination regarding your Freedom of Information Act request dated July 7th, 2025, and received by this office on the same date. In your submission, you requested records or documents pertaining to yourself. After considering the nature of your request, I&A has determined that the fact of the existence or non-existence of records pertaining to your request would be exempt from disclosure pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act exemptions 3 and 7E. Your request is denied under the exemption 3 pursuant to Title 50 U.S. Code 3024I and 6 U.S. Code 121D9, which protects intelligence sources and methods from unauthorized disclosure. Additionally, we are neither confirming nor denying the existence of records under Exemption 7E, as disclosure of the information you requested would reveal law enforcement techniques or procedures and the circumstances under which those procedures or techniques were used. I&A FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, have considered the foreseeable harm standard when reviewing the record set and have applied the FEO exemptions as required by the statute at the Attorney General's guidance. I&A hereby neither confirms nor denies that such records may or may not exist. If you deem this to be adverse determination, you may exercise your appeal rights. Should you wish to do so, you must send your appeal and a copy of this letter within 90 days of the date of this letter, and I intend to do just that. So this is what I would like for other TIs to do. Don't let the V2K deter you from completing it, but you need to file an Freedom of Information Act request and see what they tell you. Because here in this letter, they're basically doing plausible deniability, and it's not going to work with me. It's just not. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm going to rebuttal with, you should be made aware that I'm an American state national citizen. Your maritime laws do not apply to me. I will be seeking full retribution of the attacks, made against me. What a bunch of
What a bunch of so Emily was asking, so we're gonna kind of before we jump in, we're gonna kind of backwards. So she was wondering, what did you request for the FOIA?
So
you're just requesting any information about you that they have in their files.
That's correct.
Everything.
Because when you've been targeted, they put you on the terrorist screening database, the TSDB. And when you're put on that list, they think that you're a terrorist just for speaking the truth, probably not getting the Fauci juice, so you can be a dissident. So you're not going to comply. You can be an anarchist that doesn't, necessarily agree with government overreach and authority. And you need that information because that's how we're going to take this stuff down. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joy wants to know if we're having connection issues. You cannot make this shit up. That's right, Joe. You can't.
I'm not having connection issues, but so what's weird though is
usual crap they try to pull. Yes, Kemp, it is. It's crazy.
So when you filed the original, when you sent the original documents, you said you felt like your targeting was almost gone, like almost immediately, right? However, it seems like there's been a lot of strange shit happening lately.
Right.
Do you think that it's coming back?
Oh yeah, it came back because I sent off these letters, and I don't really care. Like, it got less when I took my DNA back for sure. The V2K got a lot less when I came back to the land and soil as an American state national citizen, because I was able to get control of my DNA, which is what they use to target you, basically. And put you on the internet of everything everywhere, create your digital twin, put you in the medical database. Sabrina Wallace is a good one to listen to. She knows her stuff for sure. But yeah.
Joy, can you hear us? This is weird. So, and like she's trying to do podcast interviews and like people can't enter like into her studio. However, I was able to. Yeah, I was able to.
5 interviews and podcast. Well, 1 interview and 4 podcasts that I was doing, they weren't able to enter my studio. But when I connected with Erica and joined her into the studio, she was able to do it. So they are completely acting like criminals, literally.
I can't believe that they can tell you that providing you with your own information just about you is danger to releasing information about how the police do their job. Huh. We're gonna have to do some research on these codes, peeps. Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. Okay, well. God. Well, since we're already jumping in and we've got some awesome people already joining us. I sent a message on the Iconic website. Huh. What? Sorry, Emily, you'll have to message me. You can email me. It's just erica@weareiconic.com. You can do that, or you can find me on Facebook. Anywhere, if you message me. I'll check what's going on with my messages on my website. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Emily, where are you? Are you in the UK?
Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm disheveled from the damn dinosaurs. I'm like,
beautiful.
It's funny. We'll get into it, guys, I promise. But I'm watching this and I've got my sweater on, right? And because it's cold in movie theaters, and I've got my sweater on, and I'm like, half the movie it's in my face. And I'm like, I can't see. I'm pretending like I can't see it, but I'm watching it. I don't know. My heart's still racing. Okay. Well, I don't think there's a reason. We'll have to play the song next time since we're already going and we got people joining. And so update then is you got a denial on your Freedom of Information Act. Have you received anything else in the past week or two?
No, just my SF 95 tort claim division, which I sent this guy a letter to today. I responded to him today because I received that in the mail yesterday. And so I'll respond to the Freedom of Information Act people tomorrow. And I'm going to write them a really pretty letter.
Oh, I doubt it'll be very pretty. Hi, son.
Oh. It'll be factual and stern. Okay, those are the 2 things that you can guarantee: factual and stern.
Literally live right now on YouTube. So, what do you need? Okay, I love you. I'll come see you after. Okay, freaking kids. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I messaged you and asked you if you were okay and if you were involved in the floods because I was worried. I didn't know exactly where they were, and obviously I was worried for you because you're my bestie. And we kind of just chatted a little bit, and you said, "Hey, Mark, you're awesome. You have been
you are
awesome." So you responded to me saying that this was not an accident.
Correct.
Or a natural disaster.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. And it was also the third thing that I predicted because they always do everything in threes and they like to do stuff on Fridays. The government, this is their PSYOPs program. Okay. I know some people don't like me to use the number 3, but that's what they do. And so it wasn't the David Martin, fireworks that I'm aware of. I don't know. Their mainstream media is not going to tell you anyway what happened, but the flood was here in Texas. So I feel like that was the third one, where there are children missing, and yeah.
And you said you said it was caused by who?
Okay, so I read first Anonymous. I don't know if you people know who Anonymous is. It's the Storm of Silence, the July 4th tragedy at Camp Mystic. So I'm going to bring that up on the screen, actually, and I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
So it says, Storm of Silence, the July 4th tragedy at Camp Mystics, and the questions no one dares to ask. On July 4th, 2025, a catastrophic and sudden storm swept through central Texas with an epicenter near Camp Mystic, a secluded, high-security summer facility known to house children of military officials, federal whistleblowers, and individuals under witness protection. In just 45 minutes, water levels rose by 26 feet, unleashing a flood of destruction that has since claimed 27 lives, including 7 children, and left 20 girls missing, many of whom were reportedly involved in ongoing child trafficking investigations. But what caused this storm, and why is no one asking the right questions? Spiral signatures before the storm. Just 48 hours before this flood, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, recorded unusual spiral anomalies above Texas. These anomalies, circular radar echo patterns with no meteorological explanation, centered directly over the area that would soon become Ground Zero, Camp Mystic. Survivors speak. Helicopters, drones, and blackouts. Survivors, many still in shock, reported hearing helicopters and seeing drones hovering near the Guadalupe River in the hours before the storm hit. Their phones mysteriously lost all service and no alerts were received, despite the technology exists for storms and flood warnings to be issued in seconds. According to multiple witnesses, communications were deliberately jammed. Camp Mystic was no ordinary camp. Sources say it was protected, private, and routinely guarded, which raises a simple but disturbing question. How does a fortified, high-security location get hit so quickly, so hard, without warning? Immediate response from President Trump. President Trump, who is currently serving as commander-in-chief, immediately dispatched elite military units to the devastated region. Within 24 hours, they had rescued 850 survivors, including children and staff, scattered across the floodplain. Reports emerged shortly after that unmarked black op vehicles, typically associated with covert operations, were seen leaving the scene under heavy escort. Military personnel uncovered unspecified military-grade gear abandoned near the carnage. Simultaneously, servers and security systems at Camp Mystic were found scrubbed clean, and NOAA's own data regarding the anomaly vanished, allegedly deleted, or remotely accessed. A message to the White Hats. Insiders suggest that this was no accident. It was a message, a brutal, coordinated signal from the remnants of the deep state. We still hold cards. Over the 2 weeks leading up to the flood, over 100 Iranians, some on U.S. territory watch list, were reportedly intercepted on American soil. Multiple terror plots were foiled. The storm at Camp Mystic then may have been a retaliatory strike, a desperate act by those seeking to halt the moment of justice that has begun sweeping through once untouchable corridors of power. BlackRock and Vanguard and geoengineering connections. Further investigation revealed that both BlackRock and Vanguard, two of the world's most powerful financial institutions, hold significant stakes in geoengineering firms that possess military weather modification contracts. While details remain classified, these firms have long been whispered to have ties with DARPA and HARP, High Frequency Active Aerial Research Program, both known for experimenting with weather as a weapon. Now, over 100 employees across NOAA, FEMA, and DHS have reportedly had access revoked or are under investigation for data tampering and manipulation. It's not the first time. And this isn't a new script. The Paradise Fires, Maui, Hurricane Katrina, and Los Angeles wildfires all share commonalities: high civilian casualties, missing persons, unexplained failures in warning systems, and suspicious cleanup crews arriving before the smoke even cleared. Too often, women and children vanish in the chaos. Families return to ruins only to find their valuables gone, looted in the storm's shadow. And in many of these cases, FEMA is on the ground before the event even occurs. Silence is compliance. This article will be targeted. It will be discredited, ridiculed, and buried. If you see negative comments, pay close attention to where they're coming from. Are they bots? Are they the same handful of users repeating the same lines? Ask why. More importantly, ask why no mainstream outlet is covering this. Why were no weather alerts sent? Why was Camp Mystic wiped from online maps post-disaster? Did you hear that? Camp Mystic was wiped from online maps post-disaster. Why did FEMA arrive before the storm reached landfall? A call to action. To every American reading this, your silence is compliance. The children deserve your voice. The missing deserve your outrage. The survivors deserve your courage. This was not just a flood. It was a statement, a move in a shadow war. Most people still refuse to believe that's happening, but your truth doesn't require your belief, just your attention. Unite, speak out, investigate, demand answers, because if we don't, there will be another Camp Mystic. Yep. Now listen, now watch this. Now watch this cloud seeding company real quick that I got off Substack.
I find it online on a map. Literally right
Well, it's probably the Google Maps where it's pictures that they're showing you of what it looked like, would be my guess. Listen to this kid. It says cloud seeding company Rainmaker, founded by 25-year-old Thiel fellow Augustos Dorico, was seeding in Texas flood area 2 days before the flood, stewarding the natural world. No longer can you trust a mullet. meet the new brilliant lunatic. Frustrated he can't play with rain without any red tape. And this is from Celia Farber's Substack, because I follow her on Substack. She does a lot of great reporting, and I like her style. So let me see. Can you see this?
Yeah. Hey, Tony wants you to drop that link to that article, these articles when we're done. So if you can drop the links in there when, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I want to throw up. Ugh.
I know. Yeah, it does make you throw up. It's not going to let me play it, I don't think, because you've got to be signed into Substack, and I'm not right now. So I will drop these links. But I also want people.
Let me see if I can log in. Drop it in here. I'll see if I can log in and play it. Okay, so first off, this fucking sucks. This is absolutely awful. Just the fact that this shit happens, and
yeah,
that they were mostly children, like,
yeah.
But what I need to know is how. I mean, you're saying don't discredit this article. People are going to discredit it. It's going to be taken down. I mean, where did this person get their facts? You know, that's where I struggle. And again, I'm the skeptic. But like, where do they get their facts? Like, there's no it reads like opinion. Obviously, it's an opinion piece, but that's where I struggle. Is like, how do we know this? Like, now I question everything. How do we know this person's, not giving
That's
us
what you
false
should.
information?
But that's what you should be doing. You should be questioning everything, because the land that we live in and the government that is running this country is not really the government. They are a fake circus government that belongs to the crown. And they are very non-human. If you look at David Icke's stuff that he's been spewing for 30 years, trying to uncover who's really the puppet master behind the curtain, pulling the strings. And it's very disheartening. It's very upsetting. But if people want to protect themselves and their freedom and their children and their children's freedom and their grandchildren's freedom, it's time for us to start waking up and looking at these people that are doing this shit. Because as you saw at the beginning of the thing, they're not willing to give me my information. Why? Like, I never had any, criminal offenses. I shouldn't be on a terrorist screening database anywhere. But apparently I am, because they're refusing to give me the information, saying, well, it could be like a breach in security. I call bullshit. I call bullshit every single time. It's called gaslighting. And we're born into this nation the way that it is, the way that they created it, and we know no different. But what we do know, and the power that we do have, is to question everything. Can you open up that Substack from Cecilia or Celia Farber Substack?
Yeah.
And play it, because it's not letting me play it. So I'm going to stop sharing my
Of course
screen.
not. Why would it? Yeah, hold on. So you've dropped 2 in here. Silence the 4th of July. No, Rainmaker.
So that was the anonymous one that I read. So it would have been the one before that. It's double posting for some reason. I don't know.
I know. It's because we're both logged in as
me.
Both log in as host, yeah, under your account. That's why. So
okay.
Okay. I don't know if I want to fucking listen to this. Wait, it's not. Is there an actual video here? Like,
there is a video. I wonder if we could
a screenshot. I'm logged in right now to subscribe.
It was 13 minutes long. So I wonder if we can find it someplace else. It might be on YouTube under Let's Control the Weather. And I don't know what the story is, but let's see if we can look it up.
Now. I'm checking.
Okay. Let's Control.
So you think this was created by people?
Absolutely. Yeah, in my opinion, 100%. Because it's not the first time that this has happened. Because I pulled up an article August 23rd, 2022, from the office of Texas Governor Greg Abbott. And there was a storm. Says Governor Greg Abbott today held a press conference at Dallas City Hall where he signed a disaster declaration for 23 counties impacted by flooding and provided an update on the state's ongoing response to severe weather and flash floods across Texas. Following a brief on current severe weather and flood conditions, the governor was joined at the press conference by Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson, Texas Division of Emergency Management Chief Nim Kidd, Dallas Chief of Police Eddie Garcia, Dallas Fire Chief Dominic Artis, Dallas City Emergency Manager Rock Baz, and other local officials. During the press conference, the governor thanked emergency management personnel and first responders, as well as state and local officials, for their quick, effective response to this historic flooding event. The governor also outlined resources the state of Texas has deployed in Dallas-Fort Worth and other regions of the state in its severe weather and flood response. No challenge is too great for Texans to address, and I commend Mayor Johnson, the city of Dallas, and the emergency response personnel for their prolific life-saving response to yesterday's unprecedented flooding event in northern Texas, said Governor Abbott. Now, all these people are part of it. It's very disheartening, and it's very, like, I don't even know what to say. It's all a circus. Not my circus, not my monkeys, but we're having to live in it.
What do you guys think? I'm interested. Like, I don't get the fucking why here, Kimberly. I don't get, these kids are like,
I know. I've cried many times, Erica. I have cried many times. Follow the money. That's where you'll find your facts. I agree with that, Mark.
Somebody help me understand the damn why.
I know. It's evil. It's completely evil. And their solution, yeah, let me bring that one up again. They cause a problem and sell a supposed solution. This program is heinous, insidious, and diabolical, targeted here since 2003 Havana Syndrome in Minnesota. Thank you. Who's your daddy? The TIs come up with some pretty amazing names because I feel like they're really, a lot of us are intelligent, and they don't want us to know our source energy. They don't want us to find spirit. They want to lessen our spirit, which I'm not going to let them do that. I'm just not.
I can't find this damn video.
And I have one of those Faraday hats. I bought it off Amazon, even though I don't want to support them. I haven't bought anything off Amazon for about 3 months, and I won't, because the more we continue to support these big bucks companies, the worse it's going to get.
Is that Bezos? Didn't he just spend like 50 million? Oh,
yeah, something disgusting.
Didn't he just, yeah. $50 million on a wedding or something? Yeah, we have people. Could it just be a bad storm? Like, I do have that question, but you're saying that there were no alerts sent out, like there were no warnings, nothing. And all of people's phones are just like
cannibals. Yes, they're cannibals. I think they took those children. They if that was military, I think they took those children and they're doing stuff. So ever since I've been here in Southern Texas, in every shop that I go into, because it has Hispanic community is quite beautiful, they have signs in the majority of their small businesses that say "Stop Human Trafficking." And like I said, Jack at Cruz stated very clearly, the more melatonin you have in your skin, the less able they are to control you with this weaponry. Okay. And so that's why they target the African American community first with the polio vaccinations, so they could get this shit into them. They've been doing this for over a millennial, and these are just shows. A lot of this also means getting devices and planting into people, because a lot of these Masonic cults think that anyone's that's not with them is nothing more than cattle. Yeah, we're scum. I know that's what they think of us. Yeah. Yeah, it's completely.
I found the video.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
I think so.
Is it 13 minutes about?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me. I just don't. I don't get it. Like,
it's hard to swallow. It took me a minute, and once your eyes are open, they never go shut. It's not eyes wide shut anymore. It's eyes wide open.
Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah.
systems to automate half of your life.
I don't want your
It's
fucking ad.
2025.
Sorry.
AI can build a pro-level website within.
Okay, just skip it.
No, this is.
That's okay. No, keep playing it. He's on there.
Augustus Dorico, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, dude.
So, weather manipulation is on everybody's mind right now, and you make it rain. So, thought this would be a fascinating interview to be able to talk to somebody that knows actually what the hell's going on. Hopefully, so welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Something or other about it, right?
Can you guys hear this before I keep going? Just want to make sure everybody can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
All right, I'll drop this link in. Sorry, guys.
I think about Weather Mod most minutes of most hours of most days, awake or not. It rain and snow, actually. Snow we're even better at than rain right now. It's slightly easier. So talk about the differences.
How much have you looked into, the weather manipulation stuff? There's a lot of conspiracies out there on it.
Dude, I run a weather manipulation company. so yeah, I know. So on the one hand, I know a lot about the research that the United States is doing, that China is doing, that the Europeans are doing, that the Middle Easterners, Saudi and the Emirates are doing. But then also I get letters in the mail about once or twice a week from guys that have just like totally lost their mind, that say like, if you repeat this activation phrase, it will rain over you immediately because I've like typed it into the code of the ether. Someone that did like too much DMT or something. So I've got the full spectrum of the actual science down to the most schizo theories and a lot of stuff in between.
Nice. Did you see the thing that just happened in Switzerland?
Yeah.
That glacier that whatever happened,
like
it just
blew out the
cracked
whole
off
town.
and like completely buried that entire village.
Yeah, it was like a town of 1,300 people or something, I think. That was a disaster. Is the suspicion that was manipulated?
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming out.
Yeah, probably. It's it's funny actually. A lot of what we do right now in the Western U.S. is snowpack enhancement. So trying to prevent the glaciers from, melting away, cracking, becoming unstable, and collapsing.
What did you say?
Snowpack enhancement. Yeah, so making more snow, making more snow to protect the glaciers.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I got a ton of questions. I know that, there's a lot of, it's not conspiracy. It's real, right? The Vietnam stuff. We were trying to prolong the monsoon season over there to give us some type of an advantage.
Operation Popeye. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, everybody starts off with an intro here. So Augustus Dorico, founder and CEO of Rainmaker, a next generation cloud seeding company, a USC Berkeley dropout, Thiel Fellowship, and member of El Segundo hard tech scene. Rainmaker uses weather-resistant drones to increase precipitation and novel radar hardware to measure how much man-made precipitation is created. Your first priority is reversing the desertification of America, of the American West, and ultimately to terraform deserts into abundant green, arable land. And most importantly, you're a Christian.
Yep. That I am. That's me.
So that I am. That's me. But a couple of things to go through here before we get started. So we're going to do a whole.
Oh, sorry, guys.
It's been over 2 years since I found freedom from the P word, and it all started with a video I almost ignored. I didn't hold back because I didn't want.
Because I didn't pay for it.
We're going to do a life story.
So, hold on. This was 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
This video, this interview was published 4 weeks ago. Did you notice the very first thing he said was weather control is on everybody's mind right now? But was it?
Oh, yeah. And but I have a Patreon account, and it's community been with me here since the beginning, and they're the reason I get to be here sitting with you. And so one of the things I do is I offer them the opportunity to ask each and every guest a question. And so this is from Jason. Have there been discussions about Who will be held responsible if a mistake occurs that results in harm to human life or property damage? Is it fair to say acts of God would become a thing of the past?
It's a really good question. So we're definitely putting the cart before the horse a little bit here. But yes, so there are regulations right now throughout most states in America, particularly in the West, that require any weather modification operators have permits or licenses that are approved by the State Department of Natural Resources, the Department of Agriculture, Departments of Water Resources. And in order to get that permit or license, you have to use approved materials, you have to have certified meteorologists on staff, and you also have to have what are called suspension criteria. So if you make it rain or snow more, right, obviously, one thing that people would be concerned about is if there were floods or avalanches. And what suspension criteria means is if there is already flood risk because a cloud is already naturally going to precipitate a lot, or if there's burn scars from wildfires that would cause really fast runoff and flooding, or if the soil moisture is already too high for the water to be absorbed into the soil and would cause flooding, or if there's too much snowpack and there's avalanche risk from having any more snow. Even if our customers want more water, we're regulated by the states in which we operate to not continue cloud seeding, to not continue making it rain or snow, to avoid causing any problems like that. And so if we don't adhere to those suspension criteria, then we would be held liable for any damage caused. And I think that's appropriate. And I wish the federal government had regulations that enforce that as well, rather than it just being done on a state-by-state basis. Now, with respect to the last part of that question, would that make acts of God a thing of the past? You can't totally manipulate or modify the weather the way that you could the air conditioning in your house at this point in time. It's a super complicated, super energetic system. We'll trend towards more and more of that as time goes on. So right now, if you were to cause flooding, that wouldn't be considered an act of God. You would have caused it. As time goes on, my hope is that we live in a world that is more green and lush and abundant and symbiotically flourishing between creation and the environment and mankind, so that, you know, we've engineered weather-related disasters away entirely.
I'm just curious. I mean, how much do states actually know about this stuff? It's popped up. It's relatively new on the radar in a lot of people's minds. And so is this like when Zuckerberg's in front of, you know, having a congressional hearing and he's talking to 80-year-old people that probably can't even open their email and they want to know how he's regulating Facebook? Or do these people actually know what the hell they're doing?
Yeah.
It seems to me like you'll be light years ahead of them.
So, you know, one interesting part of all this is that it's not really like a partisan issue, right? It's not that like Republicans like it and Democrats don't, or vice versa. Or that Republicans know about it and Democrats don't. It's really everything west of the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. People have some knowledge of this because those are the driest states in the union. They've been cloud seeding for the longest amount of time, or they've experimented with it the most because they need the water most desperately. You know, so Colorado and California, Texas and Idaho, they all have weather modification programs that the state funds.
How long have they been? How long have they had those programs?
So cloud seeding was invented in the United States.
I was reading. Did he just say Texas?
He said Texas, Florida, and Idaho.
Air conditioning in your house at,
you know, having a congressional hearing and he's talking to 80-year-old people that probably can't even open their email and they want to know how he's regulating Facebook? Or do these people actually know what the hell they're doing?
Yeah.
It seems to me like you'll be light years ahead of them.
So, you know, one interesting part of all this is that it's not really like a partisan issue, right? It's not that like Republicans like it and Democrats don't, or vice versa, or that Republicans know about it and Democrats don't. It's really everything west of the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. People have some knowledge of this because those are the driest states in the union. They've been cloud seeding for the longest amount of time, or they've experimented with it the most because they need the water most desperately. You know, so Colorado and California, Texas and Idaho, they all have.
God.
Yep.
I don't want to know this.
I know you don't.
I don't.
And
I don't
I
wanna
love
know that.
you, and I'm sorry that you're heartbroken, but this is the majority of TI's experience, is having to come to grips with the evil that is out there. And like you told me when we first met, do not let them take your light, even if you
Not
have
even a
just a
little.
little bit of it. You remember that? So do not let them take
Yeah.
your light. They feed off grief and sorrow, and it's very dark, sick, twisted, but needs to be exposed. That's why Anonymous is doing their job. And I have been watching Anonymous for at least 10 years and their videos of calling this bullshit out. And so I did a post on my Substack where Anonymous says that they've got all the receipts and all the people or non-people that are doing this bullshit, and that it's going to stop.
Did you know that when I did that whole Save Josh campaign, guys, I helped basically take down a pharmaceutical company many years ago. That Anonymous reached out to me and told me that we have their full support. They weren't going to give a little boy medications, and anyway, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I am in complete like this
Shock?
was
It's
pushed out 4 weeks ago. And
the kid is smart but at the same time, it's like, if you're smart and you're dark, and then how did he get put in this situation of owning this company at 25 years old and being a partner and friend of Peter Thiel? That's my question. And why is BlackRock, Larry Fink, and Vanguard backing this kid? That's my question.
And those are all the dickheads of the world, basically, right?
Yep, that's the Bilderberg Group.
I dropped this link. I dropped this link in here. I want to, so you guys watch this, but I want to come here to risks, ethics, and geopolitical.
Feeling like you're always behind is unfortunately common, but now there's a solution. Let's be honest. A lot of us are building businesses while competing with companies that have full teams.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong in doing this? The only thing that comes to my mind, is floods, and then, not knowing the effects of who you're stealing the rain from, where the wind's blowing. But I mean, if there was a miscalculation and it dumped on insert city.
Yeah, I mean, so
they don't have, you had just mentioned, Dubai didn't have the drainage.
Mhm.
They weren't able to take on that amount of water. I mean, it could be devastating.
Yeah, I think the
mudslides.
Yeah, the simple way to get around that is you just don't operate in highly populated areas, right? So like the Rocky Mountains, relatively unpopulated, but all of the snow and rain that goes there runs off into the cities that into the reservoirs and rivers that do benefit the cities, but tens or hundreds or thousands of miles away. So you can mitigate for that risk by operating in more remote areas. What could go wrong beyond that? Yeah, I think that you covered most of the bases there. It is if someone was totally irresponsible and totally irregulated operating over a highly populated area, that you could run the risk of avalanches. But avalanches or floods. But in order to do that, like I said, you'd have to be operating totally irresponsibly. You'd have to have like either bad science or malicious intent. You would have to skirt around the existing regulations that require you to suspend operations if there is any risk. So we have like a pretty solid framework to prevent any sort of disasters from happening there.
Unless they want to.
That's correct. Unless they want to.
What if yeah, I don't know. I think those are probably the big ones.
I mean, when you talk about malicious intent, do you think that this could be weaponized?
We know that it can be weaponized.
So my question to all of you is, they were spraying chemtrails overhead on the 4th of July. I did a couple live streams about it. Then there was this weird thing that showed up that I thought was a blimp that wasn't. And I was like, that's not very patriotic to spread chemtrails overhead on Independence Day. Okay, but that's how they use this weather modification, geoengineering stuff. I watched it in Salt Lake, and it's very evil. It's legitimately Satan. That's what I'm going to say. It's Satan. Yeah, they elect themselves. Yes, they do. Yeah, there are always people who don't have to follow the rules. Yep, and they're the puppet masters pulling the strings. Apparently, they didn't prevent any disasters in Texas recently. That's right, Kemp. They didn't. And it's really hard to look at this shit. Life is heartbreaking, and it's what the evil people want, because broken hearts are powerless. Don't let them overwhelm you. I think that's beautiful. That is exactly what they want, Tony. Yeah, she was just going to mention my chemtrails. I put it on my live feed because I'm like, I don't want this to disappear off my phone, because we know these criminals, right? And I was like, I just need to get this out there. But also in Salt Lake City, Utah, they banned wood burning stoves. And I believe the reason that they did that is because when you add fire to chemicals, it makes the chemical burn off. So that's why I did the last video and was burning that on my front porch, because heat attracts the chemical, which is why they're trying to block out the sun, because the sun is healthy for us. That they are just spraying this shit all over us. There's this guy that I found on my Substack, and I call him the clear skies. The clear skies guy. And the clear skies guy lives here in Texas. I think his name is Steven. And he went up to Congress, proposed a legitimate farming plan, and he's spearheaded people in other cities where they're spraying these chemtrails to stop. It needs to stop. They're not only killing us, they're killing animals and the planet. And I don't really appreciate their bullshit. So Igor sent me a picture, and I'm going to see if I can bring it up. And let me share my screen with you. And he was in Florida, I believe. He'll have to tell me if that's true or not.
By 1:18 a.m. local time, the NWS released their first direct flash flood warnings for Kerr County, which officials told the Texas Tribune should have triggered direct warnings to those in harm's way. Instead, beginning on the day of the flood, state and local officials insisted that they had no idea the flood was coming. Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly said leaders had no reason to believe this was going to be anything like what has happened here. None whatsoever. They were echoed by the following day by Nim Kidd, the state's top emergency management official, who told reporters that forecasts did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
And I call bullshit. I literally call bullshit. Here's the screenshot. You can go to geoengineeringwatch.org or geoengineering.org.
It's not showing.
Here, I'm
your screen
not
showing. Geoengineering.org. Do I have?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I don't mean to get so emotional today.
Okay, there you go. There it is. It says stop toxic
climate engineering. And where is this? So you think
I believe Let's see if Igor tells me. I think he was in Florida. It is so deep, Joy. It goes very deep and wide, and it's not in a good way. Yep, guess that makes them liars, don't it? Yep, this is why we need to figure it out. It's all, yes, it's the depopulation agenda. The more you dig, the darker it gets. What can we do? I feel like, how do you take powerful criminals down? You ask for your Freedom of Information Acts, and then once you get that, you can submit your SF-95, because the only way that the system is going to go down is if we implode it. And the only way we can implode the system, and my business mind is coming in here, is that we take it down financially, systematically, because the United States of America is already bankrupt, people. I don't know if you know that, but your paper money just is like nothing. It's just printed. So the only way you get back your estate is when you become the American state national American citizen, American state national citizen. Then you get back your birthrights of your estate, and you have money waiting there for you. So that's the only way we get out of this, is by turning over to the other side. You know how they say that there are parallel universes? I said this last time. Well, there are two parallel universes. There's one they created, and as the U.S. Government incorporated, and then there is the actual United States of America that goes off of the Constitution. Okay, so remember when you were little and you were watching Saturday cartoons or Sesame Street, and then the Bill of Rights guy came up. Well, they weren't talking about your civil rights. They were talking about the Bill of Rights. They weren't teaching you this because they wanted to brainwash you with this information instead. So your constitutional rights is what they should have been teaching you. But then they had the little guy with the Bill of Rights, piece of paper telling you all of this falsified documentation in their corporate world. This whole thing is built by design. It is meant to keep you in debt, enslaved, paying taxes, and so they always own you. And it's only going to get worse if we let it continue and they push out their digital ID, because that is a literal slave identification card. You might as well put a barcode on my back, or a cattle prong,
So if they're going to do this to fucking children, what's you changing your name from capital letters to lowercase letters going to do, Kimberly?
So that's a very good question, because I did get my recorded papers back. I'm very excited about that. See, there is actually factually a land recording office, and look what I got. I got my recorder's stamp, and this is what they don't want you to see. They don't want you to know that there's a parallel universe so that you can remove yourself from their indebted slave system. It's so contrarian. I'm going to use that word, C-U-N-T, contrarian.
I fucking love you.
That it took me a minute. I'm not saying contrarian. I'm saying contrarian. Okay? That you just sometimes have to laugh about this shit, because you just can't make this shit up. You just can't. Yeah, Mark, or either your right hand or your forehead. Yeah, that's the world we're going in. The digital ID is equivalent to how the Nazis branded tattoos on Jews. Yes, or made them wear the star, the yellow star, remember? They have dumbed us down so much and brainwashed us that we don't even know how to use our cognitive thinking skills, our critical thinking skills, to say, now, this shit doesn't feel quite right. And you're right, it doesn't, because they're dealing off maritime law, which is not common law. It's not the law of the land. It's the law of the sea, which is part of the crown. It's very.
They don't respect the law of the land. They don't respect the law of the. I mean, like, I just whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, Cam, right. They use children as experiments now, and the children that they're experimenting on is you. And so I'm really disappointed in RFK Jr. for telling people to wear wearables, because that's another way that they track you. And he's, look at Catherine Austin Fitts. Look at her stuff. She'll tell you what's going on. She worked in United Washington, D.C. in the housing of urban development. She worked for HUD. I know that very well because I come from a title background.
Can
I
we
think
talk
it
about
will be a
spies next
wonderful
week?
world. I think that we're coming at critical mass, and critical mass means that there are so many people waking up now that understand that there is no Republican and there is no Democrat. There is a corporation, and that corporation will hoodwink you, sell you marketing, and then create a tragedy and then give you the solution. And anybody that puts vaccines in their child now, they're at risk for the transhumanist agenda, in my opinion. And you can sign a waiver to get your kids out of the vaccine schedule. But when I was a kid, I think I only had probably 10. It's up to 97. Now, make that make sense to me. I want that to make sense. I did see that with RFK. First thing was, nice tracking device. Yeah. RFK is a robot for the man. Catherine Austin Fitts said that RFK Jr. and Elon Musk are basically in a contest to see how many sheeple they can get pushed over to the digital ID. Yeah, they are child molesters, basically. If you're going to vaccinate these kids with 97 vaccinations, they're not only child molesters, they're child murderers, in my opinion. It just definitely is not, it's not good. I'm sorry. I love you. And
now you're going to have to call me after and let me just bawl like a little baby bitch after the call.
That doesn't mean
my therapist tells me to do. She says
that doesn't mean you're a baby. That means that you have an actual soul, and these beings do not have souls. That's why the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Goldman Sachs, the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musks, the people of the 1%, that want us to have nothing and be happy and eat Z-bugs. None of which I'm going to do. I will not comply. But when you cry and I cry, that means that we have a heart. We have a soul. We have an eternal being. And that eternal being, they cannot take that away from us. In fact, we will never die, basically. This is just a vessel. We're just here temporarily. And then just for this experience or to change history, and then we get to get the F out of here.
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Of people if we're just gonna take our fucking children away.
Right. That's the whole point. Turn us into cyborgs, this transhumanist agenda. But the thing about it is they won't have any more souls to feed off of. you know, if there's only transhumanists or cyborg entities, then there's no souls, and that's what they feed off of.
Like the devil, like souls, like they say the devil takes to hell, like trade your soul to the devil for something in return. Who wants our souls?
They do, but they can't step on mine.
What the hell is the purpose of, like, oh my God. Ugh.
Yeah, and it makes you want to puke, that's for sure. Let's not be sheeple, Joe. You're loving light too. I don't have my bracelet on today, but
Well, here's what I have to say. Leave our fucking children alone.
yep.
Whoever,
Yes.
whatever, leave the fucking kids alone.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I've lived a very good life, and I'm only 46, but
Yeah.
not these kids. I mean, can you imagine what they suffered?
No.
All to get somebody off? Like, I don't know. I it's still hard. And I know I literally just watched this with all of you guys, like, in front of my face. And I don't want to believe that people can be this awful.
I know that. That's why I'm like, it takes you a minute to wrap your head around it. But then knowledge is power, right? And when you have knowledge, then you're aware.
Yeah, Tony, it's all money. Maybe we need to change industries, Tony.
Yeah, you get a drug on the vaccine schedule, guaranteed income. Yeah, they'll pay you. We'll pay you to vaccinate yourself. We'll give you a free donut. Now, when they're doing that shit, it's called propaganda. Yes.
We love you too. All resistance. All right. Well, that sucked. With love. That sucked with love. Damn. I asked you if you wanted to talk about this. I didn't know that it was
gonna go into that. But it's all linked. Like you have to know that this is a very tightly webbed mechanism that they've been planning for over a millennial. And
it very interesting.
Yep, with very sinister and ill intent for their demo side.
I'm gonna go hug my fucking kids.
As you should. Make sure they're protected.
Thanks. Oh, I needed that.
Yeah, I knew you did. I posted it again. I love you guys too. I love you too. Stay strong. Stay strong.
We got this.
We the people, not the sheeple. We got this.
We got this. All right. We're talking about spies next week. No more freaking natural disasters.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. God is good. All right, Mark. Thank you, darling. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, wait. Before I go, if you have not signed up, this is me. If you have not signed up, Kimberly is doing an encore of the Radical Truth Summit. And so I think you get 48 hours. You can get access to all 14 of the interviews for the 48 hours. There's free. It's radicaltruthsummit.com/encore. I almost forgot about that. My damn marketing mind was interrupted.
On the 11th.
So I'll drop that in here. But it's got the let me drop this in before we take off. But yeah, it's 48 hours. So open it up. She's got some cool shit coming up. She's got some cool stuff coming up.
One of which I wanted to interview today that we had interference on. So hopefully I'll get that interview before, the summit ends.
Yeah, that's gonna be special. Thank you, Tony. Love you, man. You're my brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Love you
I dropped the
too.
link, Radical Truth Summit. Let's check it out, guys. I'm telling you, if you haven't already watched it, you need to.
Yeah, if you paid for it, Joy, you have access already. The reason I'm doing this is because some people signed up after the fact that are TIs that really can't afford the upgrade to the VIP. And so they were asking us if they could see the videos again. So we're just opening up for the 48-hour window so that those TIs that didn't have a chance to go and view it have their opportunity to do so.
Hey, Emily, we'll check it out. We'll look and see. Tiffany probably has it for the podcast. So we'll get it figured out. First, I got to figure out why she can't interview anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't interview
all of a
anybody.
sudden.
Yep.
So
when did you sign up, Emily? Good will prevail. I do agree with you. Love you too, Joe.
I don't know. The dinosaurs were around for 100 million years. We've only been around for what, 200, and we're killing ourselves off. Like, we're gonna be our own demise.
No, we're gonna save ourselves. We're gonna save
Yeah,
ourselves.
you know what? Yes,
Evil.
we are, with love and light and
Love and light. That's
giving
right.
whenever you can. Make somebody smile today, guys. That's what I'm gonna ask of you. Lift my heart up a little bit. Make somebody smile today. Complete stranger. That is your task for next week, and come back to me next week and tell me that you did it for me. Okay? Because yeah, we need some fucking love and light. All right, cool cats. We will see you. We'll see you next week. And Emily, we'll figure it out for you, darling. Don't worry. We got you.
Yep.
Adios, everyone.
Okay. Bye.